All right, I am Ian. I'm one of the camera guys, and I help Hunter a lot on these shoots. And today we're gonna be getting this. Thank you, Hunter. First up, we gotta get the tripod set up. So generally, I kinda like to start just extending the legs all the way, and then I adjust it down to a point that is comfortable. And of course, the other camera operators can change this later to whatever their height needs are. We have some really tall camera operators, let me tell you. Yeah, that looks about good. Once that's all stable, I kind of make sure it stays in place. Get the legs all tightened up and locked. And then from here, you also have to make sure that the head up here is nice and balanced. There's a bubble in the center. Might have a little bit of trouble seeing it just because it's right underneath there. I'll try to lift it up so you can. But once that's nice and centered, pretty sure that is, yep. That is when we can come down here and grab gold camera. And yes, it does have the plate on. That's very important because that is what is gonna allow us to, oh, power cable tied in there. That's what's gonna allow us to put it on the tripod. So I pressed that button in there to make sure that it would let it on there, and then I tighten that. And that camera's not going anywhere. So from here, we get that trusty power cable I was just talking about. We have a trusty extension cable right here running from a power source. Plug that in there. And then we come over here, and that should give us enough length to plug in the camera. There we go, perfect. That's what you'd like to see. So you'll see now, it's a little bit bright and the memory card is full, so we'll have to get that fixed. But from here, it's pretty straightforward. We just gotta get those sparks that Hunter was talking about earlier on. So if you want to come with me, we have a spark right here. This is the HDMI spark, so we'll have to go a little bit further. All right, so what Hunter did is he has totally bamboozled me and sidelined me, telling me I'm gonna be using this thing today. It works basically the same way. It sends data over the Ethernet cables, but this one is not gonna be able to mount onto the camera, so I'm actually gonna need a decently sized HDMI cable for this. Hopefully this will be long enough, but one thing of note that you always want to make sure is that you're putting it into the right port here. So this is where our Ethernet goes in, and then HDMI out is the wrong one. You want to make sure it's on the in port because we're sending the signal into the bird dog to send over to Hunter. So once we have that plugged in there, we plug it into the camera as well. And we take our Ethernet down here, plug that into there. We can go ahead and just rest it on the camera bag, and that should be sending signal over to Hunter. And as far as that goes, aside from, as I said, getting some more settings, more precise stuff tweaked so that it looks good on stream, that's setting up camera.